Es muy triste, o sea, hay palabras, ¿verdad? Para decirlas y hay problemas, pero pues todo lo que uno lo ha vivido no lo puede platicar en unos 5 o 10 minutos.
Eres un criminal porque cruzaste la línea sin ningún documento.
Nunca hay que quedarnos por vencido, ¿eh? Hay que volver a intentar.
Ayer, ayer que la quería ver, pues no la brinqué y pues me agarraron y pues me sentí mal, ¿verdad? Porque pues, yo voy con decisiones a trabajar y no a robar.
Empacó un par de camisas.
Te amo. Que Dios te cuide en el hueco de su mano poderosa. I used to imagine hiking Yosemite with him, walking through Yellowstone, and admiring the forests of Oregon. He would talk of our future plans with an unmatched passion, his attitude as bright as 1,000 suns. But because of his status and my mother's crippling fears, we usually settled for Julian. Even going there was a suicide mission to her. I wasn't blind to his situation. Quite the opposite, actually. He made sure we knew and drilled it into our heads that our privilege and freedoms are what he trekked up mountains and crossed deserts for. He had let me know that every mistake and every triumph he experienced would always lead back to me, specifically. He wouldn't let me forget it. You'd think that's a lot of pressure on a kid, but looking back, I wouldn't have it any other way. I guess that's what unconditional love and appreciation do to you. Ever since then, I unofficially declared my brothers and me his protectors. It was an unspoken thing between the three of us, but we all knew that we were doing it. It would start as small things, from running errands around the city to standing between him and the scrutinizing eyes of McDonald's patrons in the middle of the Bible Belt. It wasn't only my job, it was my purpose, and I was good at it. You can ask anyone like me, a first-generation child of immigrants, that there's always a lingering fear. It nips at their heels, and you're too scared to kick it for fear of the beast fighting down harder on their ankle and holding them down. Because when they wake up at 5 a.m., so do you. You sit down and spend every available minute trying to memorize them and their small tics, like the way their eyebrows would rise as they read something on their phone, their food being long gone before their coffee so they can enjoy it at work, or even the way their feet would shuffle across the carpet every now and then just so they could feel the texture beneath their soles. Then they leave and you shout, Te amo, que Dios te cuide en el hueco de su mano poderosa. Because ever since you first mentioned it to them when you were only 5 years old, it had become a recurrent thing between the two of you, almost like a divine see you later. And so you watch them leave through the door, and a piece of you goes with them. You go to school and try to distract yourself from the thought that they might not be at home or on their way when you get there. You walk home, and it's off to do your job again. Your first task is to look for the car. If it's not in the main street, you go to the back of the complex and check the garage because maybe they're just putting their tools away. They're not there. And so you walk into your home because maybe they just had to park far away. After all, you know your street is notorious for shitty parking. They're not there either. And so you call them. It's as if God was on your side when they pick up the phone and reassure you that they just got caught in traffic on the 8. Your job isn't done yet. Not until you hear the jingle of their keys and the friendly greeting towards your upstairs neighbor that you're relieved. And so you throw your door open and run and greet them with a tight hug. To the public, you probably look like you're acting like a 5-year-old, when in reality, you were already a senior in high school. But you don't care. They're home and they're safe. Out of all the unofficial guardians he had, I was at his beck and call 24/7, from holding a flashlight as he fixed his car to lighthearted promises that he didn't think I'd remember. But oh, did I remember. If you wake up at 4 in the morning, I'll take you to Denny's. So I woke up at 3, just in case he woke up earlier, just so I can prove to him how serious I was. I looked at the clock and walked into my parents' room and shook him awake. You said 4 o'clock. It's 4:15. He let out a soft laugh and made his way to the bathroom to get ready. We'd be at the empty Denny's no later than 4:45. We'd stay there talking about nothing and everything, waiting for the sunrise. When the sun would come out, it was time to go back home. When we arrived home, my brothers and my mom would ask where we had gone. He and I would just share a knowing smile and carry on with our day. My brothers would get pretty jealous. There comes a time when your birds leave the nest. And so, as my brothers left home to continue the next chapters of their lives, I had felt as if their responsibilities fell upon my shoulders. But I slacked. I prioritized menial and materialistic memories in the making because I wanted to live in the moment instead of treasuring invaluable time, the one thing no one gets back. It was 4 days after my 20th birthday. I was working at a new bagel place on 30th Street, and I clocked at around 1 in the afternoon. As I turned on the ignition to my car and turned to go home, something told me not to. And I listened to it and didn't. My mother texted me at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, asking me when I'd be home. She said she wanted to see me before she left for Tijuana. It was odd and out of character for her. My mom runs her life like a business, a 2-week notice at the latest. I drove home and subconsciously started to tick off boxes. It seemed as if my job was going to be super easy that day. His truck was parked right in front of our home, and I was filled with so much joy that I skipped in. I walked disappointed. He wasn't sitting at the head of the table eating. He wasn't in the living room pretending to be sleeping on the couch so that he could scare me like when I was a kid. He wasn't in my brother's old room turned office reading his Bible. He wasn't in his bedroom or in either of the 2 bathrooms that we had. My only thought was that he could be in the garage. It made sense. My mom came in and saw me looking like a lost puppy when she said, "Sit down. I have something to tell you." My flight or fight instinct kicked in. The last someone said those exact words to me, I was 8. And my godmother was trying to explain that my grandfather had passed on. 4 simple words had never made my life rush past my eyes as much as the ones she had uttered then and there. "ICE took your dad." ICE took your dad? He wasn't dead, but it felt so much worse. Anything after that was a blur. I remember screaming, falling to my knees and crying. I remember calling my friend hysterics and her taking me away from the house because I couldn't stand to be in a place where everywhere I looked had some kind of memory tied to him. I remember my brothers rushing out, whether it was driving 3 hours or flying in all the way from Texas. I remember regretting all the times I yelled at him, as well as regretting not spending more time with him, time that I knew I had, time that I chose to be with friends instead, because they seemed cooler and a better option. But most of all, I remember thinking to myself that I had failed the one person that had never failed me. I'm pretty sure my brothers thought the same. My mom had told us that it would be okay, that he had gotten picked up at the border by our aunt who lives on the other side. It didn't make any of us feel any better. He hadn't been across the border in 20 years. Who knew what was in store for him? Who knew that one simple Friday would bring 3 grown adults to their knees and have them weeping like children, tearing them down onto their basics? The days following we would keep hearing the same meaningless phrase from different people. At least he's in Tijuana. You could always go visit. I knew I could. I'm the privileged one who can come back and forth and who live nearby. My brothers can't even cross the border because they live far away and because of their jobs. So why does it feel like I'm the one who is thousands of miles away and is losing bits and pieces of herself as the days go by? As I look around, I realize I no longer have anything to lose. That every memory I made is cemented within the walls of this unit, and they're dying with the departure of its owners. Anyway, I'm writing this letter to let you know that I'm leaving, and I'm not coming back. There's nothing here for me, at least not in the foreseeable future. Do me a favor though. If you ever happen to come back, let me know if you see a sunrise. I'll book the first flight over and watch it with you. Love, P.
Empacó sus ganas de quedarse, su condición de transformarse en el hombre que soñó y no ha logrado. Dijo adiós con una muerte.